I know, I'm finally back. It's been a minute. Got the whole summer schedule on. Took a quick little road trip, had to do some things, get some things done around here. We've been super busy at work too. Summer's hit and man, we're going full swing. So I got the trailer back in the shop. Since you've last seen it, I got it painted. Ain't nothing fancy there, just rattle canned enough. We had 3 or 4 days of rain a couple weeks ago, so I hurried and sprayed it so I didn't have it rusting out too much on me. And I built this headache bar, nothing too fancy, you didn't miss much. Just some 2-inch square, 70 thou wall, got that all cut up and done. So that's looking nice, and that's where I'm at now. So I went this morning, I bought some flat iron for fenders. I was gonna make pre-made fenders, but they're just so expensive. They wanted 200 bucks a piece for the heavier duty ones that I could find, and they were still only 14 gauge. So, and not that I'm looking to make drive over fenders, but it would be nice to, if you bumped one, not have to replace it. So I've got some 1/8 inch flat bar I've got for fenders. We'll get those made. And then I bought a bunch of weld-on stake pockets. So we'll get those on. Fenders, stake pockets, and this thing's pretty much ready for electrical, and then we're done. We're just waiting on wood. So lumber's been coming down, so who knows what it's gonna be when I'm ready. But let's get these fenders on, let's get the stake pockets on it, and we'll maybe start, if we got time, we'll pull electrical and start mounting lights and get us on the road hopefully. So here we go. All right, so I got the plasma cutter set up. I'm going to take the 12-inch down to 9 inches wide. That's how wide I want the top, and then we can trim this stuff and make us a flange that'll come down. I'll hang over the tires a little bit, and then this 8-inch stuff, I'm using it as a straight edge now, but that 8-inch stuff will be the backer. I'll go in between the tires and the deck. So here we go. Let's get these cut, and we'll start cutting pieces out and figuring out the shape of this fender. That's about where it's going to sit. Come off here, come off the front and the back of the 45 till we got about, 1.5 inches clearance on the back, and then we'll go straight down. We'll mount. I've got some angle iron pieces that I've built, and we'll put it there. And then I'm going to make these fenders removable. They're going to be pretty slick, and they're not going to. It's going to be about a 1/2 inch away from that main frame, so it's not going to touch it, so it shouldn't rattle, and then it'll be a quick, easy couple bolts to get that thing unbolted and off of there. So if we got to drive with something a little wide or forklift something from the side, that can be done. So here we go. Alright, well, I think that looks pretty decent. I know, I probably could have gone a little lower there, but I'm going to get some real thin rubber to hang down off of there. That way, still have a decent mud flap, and then if I ever back into something and get it stuck between the tire and whatever I'm backing over, it'll just rip the rubber off instead of tearing up a fender or bending a fender all to hell. So there's that. Get that all welded up, and then I've got to cut a backer for this back piece. And then I've got these Set them some 3-inch angle. These will go here on the main frame, and then I'll cut a piece of something to weld onto that fender that will let me bolt it down there. And then we'll weld a nut to the bottom of that, drill a hole in it, and those should come off nice and quick. And then I can leave all my wiring and stuff in here, so the fender will come off without having to unplug lights or move wires or anything. And it'll all be self-supported off that. It won't need to touch any of that frame rail. So I'll get that other one tacked up, ready to go, and we'll weld them up, and we'll cut out a backer. And that'll be pretty good enough for me, I think. Alrighty, I figured out the dimension across there is 72 inches. I've tacked these on, measured those, the opening on those from here to the inside of that one's 73, so that'll give me a little bit of room for messing around. So I've tacked those on. Now I gotta figure out how high on this I need to weld a plate on there. So I'll do some math real quick, get some plates cut, weld those on, and we'll see how they fit and look. But anyway, that is coming along real good. I've got these, I welded them solid right in there, and then stitched and tacked and stitched and tacked. And I'll probably just pack a little silicone in there. I was gonna weld a flange down here to maybe give this some rigidity. We'll see when I get them bolted on how they feel, but they feel pretty tough right there. So, I mean, we'll see how I decide on that. But those are looking pretty slick. I'll get some plate cut and measured out and see where we are from there. Here we go. All right, figured that out. Got some plate on there. So I angled it like that to match that hanger, just to give us a little more extra support on the fender. Did the math, got it all figured out. But looks pretty slick. So I'll get that all welded up, and I think we'll call her done. I'll go get some, I gotta run and get some hardware. I'm gonna drill a couple holes, probably use 1/2-inch bolts. Run down through there, I'll weld nuts to the bottom of that hanger. That way it'll just be a quick zip to get those off and on. And then they don't touch. Over here, there's a little gap, which will be nice, because usually if they get them close, they'll rattle. And this is pretty solid. I mean, it moves a little, but I think it's solid enough that you could stand on it and not have to worry. And then if you bumped it with something, I think it'd be pretty sturdy. So, looks pretty good. Alrighty, all those holes drilled, tack welded the nuts to the bottom. Fenders are done. I think it looked pretty slick. So now I'm gonna get all marked out, figure out where I want all my stake pockets, and we'll get those welded on. So stay tuned, here we go. There we go. Stake pockets are on. I'll put 2 in the front here just to give us some tie down points up front. There's 8 down each side, 5 in front of the fenders, 3 behind. I think we're ready. I gotta go get a couple cans of paint. Paint the stake pockets, touch this thing up. I've got to weld on some tabs for the little junction box for the electrical, where the cable comes off the connector. It should mount right up in there somewhere. So I'll weld those on, probably won't bother to video that. And then we are ready for electrical and lights and a deck, and this thing's done. Down the road, I'll probably build me a box in the tongue to put chains and straps and things in. But for now, we'll get that deck. Lumber's come down quite a bit, so we'll get the lights in it tonight, and we'll go from there. Probably won't see the electrical and lumber on this video. This one's probably already long enough, so I will get this video out, and then we'll get this electrical and lumber on. Man, we're gonna have us a slick trailer. So thanks for watching.